to go.
Do you
All
see
right.
a
So you
button?
heard the news?
Do you see a button that says stream it to your destination?
Yeah, I think it worked. I think it looks like it worked. If not, no big deal. That's not the biggest of our concerns right now.
Well, here, let me just show all of my viewers your channel real quick. It'd be nice if I actually did it. Hold
Oh
on,
yeah,
what's
for
happening?
sure.
Here we go, guys. If you're not yet subscribed to Jacob Harkey, you can find him there on YouTube. Jacob Harkey. All right, man, tell me what happened today.
So we got here early in the morning. We were here at 8:30. We got a bit of a runaround and some kind of vagueness about what time things were actually going to get started and what time we could expect to see Scotty. Um, and of course, a handful of us went live shortly after noon when there was a little bit of craziness. I haven't kept up super closely with your channel, so I don't know if you've covered anything that happened in the middle of the day yet. But there was some craziness. Shortly after noon, because there were several defendants that were coming in and out. There were several cases that the judge was hearing information about and making judgments about, and some of them went by really quickly and she only spent about a minute on. Some of them she spent a little bit longer. But there was one case in particular where she was talking to a defendant who was a tall black individual, and I honestly wasn't paying super close attention at that point to the specific details of the case or the specific details of what the judge was saying, because really we were all in there to wait for updates about Scotty. But after the judge gave her final words there, this guy was still in handcuffs and he stood up to start walking away. And I looked away for a moment, and the next thing I knew, I looked over and I see cops just bashing his head into the plexiglass that the defendants were coming in around. So basically, the people who had been in custody were being brought in from a separate entrance than folks in the public who were just watching. But he's getting his head bashed into the plexiglass. He gets his body brought down to the floor, and shortly after that, Chris without a Hellcat was in the room with us, and he started to say, "Oh, they're punching a guy in handcuffs. They're punching that guy in handcuffs. That's a dirty cop." All of us were escorted out of the room, and cops who were in the courtroom started saying, "Everybody outside, everybody outside." So we all get out in the hallway, and a bunch more cops come to the floor. Some of them go into the courtroom, and some of them just stay out in the hallway to basically keep an eye on all the members of the public who are out there. And shortly thereafter, a handful of cops come out and say, "All right, we're conducting an investigation into what happened. Are there any eyewitnesses who can give their recollection of what happened?" So Chris without a Hellcat, he gave a taped interview. Easy Quick, who's another streamer on TikTok who was with us a little bit earlier, he gave a taped interview. And as I understand it, they collected some paperwork for grievance reports so that they can follow up with details about that case. I hope that we can get some updates about what is going on there. But the thing that's been on my mind since seeing that is I wonder how often this kind of thing happens and it just doesn't get talked about. I mean, what are the odds that all of us who regularly live stream and who have audiences who are waiting to hear updates just happen to see something like that? Because this guy, it was in handcuffs. I don't know how he could have been realistically posing enough of a threat to these cops to have them bashing his head into the plexiglass the way they were. Well, anyway, 15 minutes or so later, they tell us, "Everybody face that way. Everybody turn around and face that way." Well, I did for a sec. I turned around and then I realized pretty quickly, nobody else is doing that. And people are saying, "We have a right to look. You can't tell us to just look away." So I turned back around and they dragged this guy out in a stretcher. Yeah, he looked unconscious to me. His head was back. He looked unconscious. So that was pretty wild. Anyway, they told us, come back at 1:45. We'll take the next few people. They named the next couple of cases that they were going to hear, and they told us, come back at 1:45. So then a handful of us came outside. We got lunch. One of our followers, Cat Ocean, ordered Dunkin' Donuts to be delivered to the courthouse for us all, which shout out to Cat Ocean. That was really awesome. I really appreciated that. And then we came back in, and we were ready to walk inside at maybe 1:35. And then one of us who was here asked one of the officers at the door, "Can we get any updates about when we can expect to hear Scott Hochstetter's case?" And they said the case has been dropped. He will be released at Spring and Temple between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Which, heck yeah, that was the greatest news we could have heard.
Oh, so there wasn't even a hearing.
No, No, yeah, we were prepared to go back in, and they said case dropped. He'll be released between 5 and 7. That was the end of that. We tried to get more information about, can we know why the case was dropped, and they told us, oh, you can go up to the district attorney's office on the 17th floor. So we went up there to try to get more information, and he wasn't really able to tell us much more. He said, oh, well, as far as the reasons, that's not really information that we can give out, but you can go up to the 19th floor to the office of the public defender to see if there's anything else that they can give you. So we tried that. We went up to the 19th floor to the office of the public defender, and they asked for his name, his booking number. I gave them that info. And then they said, they tried to look it up, and they said, okay, well, there's not any additional info that we have yet. You could maybe try again tomorrow, or you can call this phone number, maybe call this number before coming to the courthouse. So we weren't able to get much more updated info about why exactly was the case dropped, but it was dropped, and the people that we were talking to were saying, this is good news. You guys should be excited. Another thing that we were trying to get info about was, can we expect the same thing to happen with Cam and Danny? And as of now, based on the brief conversation that they had with the Office of the Public Defender, their hearings are still scheduled for March 13th, LRH's birthday. But the fact that this happened, the fact that his case was dropped, tells me that there's a very high likelihood that the same thing is going to happen in Cam and Danny's cases. But all around, good news as far as I'm concerned.
That is good news. But I'll tell you what, for him to have to spend 5 nights in jail just to have everything thrown out without even a hearing, that's what has me really confused.
I can't claim to understand all of the details in that sense either. But the other thing that the district attorney did mention, he mentioned that in 6 months, DOA will be able to come and get, oh gosh, what did they call it? A dismissal report?
Expunged?
They said that he'll be able to apply for that. That's let me see if there's anybody else here who remembers. Where did Chris go? Is Chris still around? Oh, are they walking around the corner? Did you happen to remember? Oh, I don't think you were with us when the DA was talking. Anyway, I'll see if anybody can remind me what the kind of document that the a dismissal letter. Anyway, I don't want to get it wrong, so I can confirm with others and see if anybody made a note of exactly what the kind of letter that he can get is. But that will enable him, whatever that letter is that he'll be eligible to get in 6 months. That will enable him to to start going through the hoops to apply for having it expunged from his record. I'm really still learning a lot of the legal jargon and the way that this kind of stuff works, but from everything that I can tell, it sounds like this is about the best news that we could have hoped for today, and it sounds like things are going to start heading in the right direction. So,
interesting.
Good news.
I just realized that when you said he's going to get out between 5 and 7, that's California time.
That's correct. Yeah,
he's not getting out for a couple hours at least at this point.
Correct. Yeah. So it's 2:44 p.m. right now, and whether or not. We briefly talked to Laura FM on the phone. She was here in the morning, but she had to leave for work pretty quick. So she was showing up kind of hoping, I think, that his case was going to be heard right at 8:30. And obviously that wasn't the case. So she wasn't able to stick around. If I'm not mistaken, I think she said that she'll be off work and hopefully able to pick him up at the end. Because the other thing that we do still need to get info about is his van. Because I don't know if you happen to catch some updates that I had been given about that over the last few days, but we've received a few conflicting reports from a few different authorities or offices about what the status of his van is, because he was arrested Friday night. Saturday night, Laura and I went to the Hollywood LAPD station on Wilcox and asked if we could obtain his consent to move his van for him from the lot that it was being held in. And the officer behind the desk said that was not going to be an option because his van was being held as evidence in his case, and the police had a search warrant for it. But then when I visited DOA in jail that was 2 days ago now, right? Yeah. So I visited him in jail on Monday, and when I did that, after I visited him, I asked the officers who were there at the jail that I went to, which was not Wilcox. He was moved to the downtown Metropolitan Station. And they gave me a number to call because they couldn't find the info. Based on the info that was available to them. So I've been finding that I very consistently get the runaround where rather than getting an answer, they give me another number to call. So anyway, I called the number that they gave me, which was the lot that his van is being held at. And they didn't say anything about a search warrant or it being held as evidence. They made it sound like it's ready to be picked up. And it's $497 now, which that was 2 days ago, and it'll accrue an additional $55 each day that it's still here. So if he's being released today, I would think that means that he should be able to pick it up today. So hopefully that'll be the next update that he's able to get his van. Yeah, go ahead.
So I guess at this point, we don't know whether they're going to charge the $600+ or whether his case being dismissed means they'll give it to him for nothing. We don't really know, do we?
I don't. And in fact, that maybe if I'll have to go back to my car because I have a note. I think I left the note in my car with the phone number that his lot is being held at. Maybe I can make that call and figure that info out so that once he's out, we can already have that info ready to go. Because currently as of now, I'm not 100% sure if he will be on the hook for that charge.
Well, I'm just going to encourage people to send him the funds anyway, just to be, better safe than sorry. And if he ends up not needing them for that, then great. But we'll see. We'll do what we can anyway. And
Totally.
people are saying that William said he's going to put Scotty up in a hotel for a few days until he gets the van thing sorted out. So
that would be awesome. Huge shout out to William for that, and thank you for all that you've done to promote the Cash Apps and links to financially support the folks who have been arrested. I know everybody appreciates it a lot.
Well, it's my pleasure. All right. Well, thank you, man. I guess we won't hold our breath for Scotty to come walking out of the building. That'll take way too long. But shoot me a text when the next big thing happens. All right.
For sure. And then you'll be out here this weekend for.
That's right.
That's right. So I will see you then.
I'll see you Saturday, man.
All right. Thank you very much for having me on.
I'll
soon.
Talk to you later. All right. That is awesome. And here I'll show you guys Jacob's YouTube channel, Jacob Harkey. He has been absolutely a huge help, a phenomenal help, not only these past many months, but I first met Jacob in person back during the Danny Masterson trial. He was there in court very frequently, and he's just been an amazing resource for the protesters, and he himself is a protester. So that is awesome. Okay, let me just go see what's happening on Nerd Report's stream. Doesn't look like he's got anybody on camera there. And all right. Well, one last time, I'll just encourage people to go and subscribe to DOA. Click through on these links here on his channel. If you want to send him some donos to help him out with the van, if he needs it, that would be greatly appreciated. The guy just spent 5 nights in Men's Central Jail in LA. Is that what they call it? Couldn't have been a good time. I can imagine it was not fun. And I look forward to interviewing Scotty about it as soon as he gets out. So why don't we call it a wrap on this for now, guys? Much appreciated. Let's see. I'll try to bang through these super chats here. Alexander Jackson, SC protest in Australia. Scientology protest in Australia. Battlefield Perth. Love it. North Texas Angel. It was 30 minutes this morning. It was 30 this morning and 80 now in Texas. Much love to you all. Wow. That is a hell of a temperature swing. Unbelievable. Skyrider 140. Aaron, what do we need to know before auditing missions? Got one nearby. You should know that they're not open that often, and that a mission can actually deliver just as much Scientology auditing as a normal Scientology organization can deliver. The one main difference is they cannot deliver professional auditor training. So missions are not very busy. They're very small. They're only open certain days and certain times, but missions are where brand new people join Scientology. So if you should be able to have some good interactions there. That's really all you need to know. Thank you, Skyrider. Partytology, what's the difference between a mission and an org? A mission is privately owned by an individual Scientologist. It is not owned and operated by the Mother Church of Scientology. Missions open and close all the time. So a mission, like literally some Joe Blow, John Smith, John Doe, owns the mission. They pay the rent. They're responsible for all the expenses, and that's why they open and they close. A Scientology organization is owned, run, and operated by the Mother Church of Scientology International, and none of them will just close down. There's a couple exceptions to that rule, but that is the rule. Thank you so much. Rio for life, Kim D. I'll be in Arizona and will protest at the Phoenix org during the first week of March. Excellent. That's an org I haven't heard much about lately. That'll be a lot of fun. Thank you for doing that. Peggy says, I have an Insta 360 camera. I'm considering coming down there just to follow your butt around. I'm concerned they're after you. They're after you. It's true. They are after me. They are also after all of the streamers. And yeah, if you want to come on down to LA and follow us around, your presence would be welcome. Please do. Look forward to seeing you there. Dustin Fountain, I was going to go this weekend, but my wife said no. I'll just go to Flag. Well, I'll see you down there at Flag. I've not been going down there lately, but I need to get back down there. Christy, 1962, who will be coming to LA this weekend? Okay, so it's Nora, Liz Gale, Liz Ferris, Liz's wife, Alicia, Christy Gordon, and then me, Jenna Miscavige, of course, the normals, Serge, Laura, Michael. Now, Serge, Laura, and Michael, of course, are locals, but when you add them to the mix, that's about 10 of us who will be traveling in a pack or something like that. Oh, Lathanda Grauklinga. Good to see you, Lathanda. Yesterday, La Poubelle was closed. I watched Streets Live. He went there to protest. William said they want to put DOA in a nice hotel room. Absolutely. Dave Bowen says, is there any chance the cigar-throwing assaulter was sent by crooked coppers hiding around the corner watching? At this point, Dave, anything's possible. I don't think that's what happened, but never say never. Sarah Woodrow from the UK. Cannot believe how corrupt this is. Will donate to DOA. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Julie Landwehr. My birthday is March 13th. Hoping for nothing but good news on that day. Happy future birthday on March 13th, Julie. Matt's mom forever. Aaron, did you ever in your wildest dreams imagine that the movement you started would reach these young TikTokers and streamers and the impact they are having in taking down this cult? I am addicted. Well, Matt's mom forever. Here's the thing. This movement that you're seeing out there, that's William. William started that. And what I think is amazing is that he started it. The start of what he did was something that was completely disrelated to anything that was already going on YouTube or any of the other SPTV channels. That's one of the things that makes it, to me, so freaking remarkable. It was completely organic and unique, and was prompted by the security guards outside of the Hollywood Guarantee building, basically pestering and bullying William in a way that just triggered him so hard that he's like, oh, I'm going to end your religion. That's when William started showing up every day to the test center and the Hollywood Guarantee building. And then after that, Jessica Palma-Dessa started, and then the other streamers followed suit. So that's what I never would have predicted in my wildest dreams, that something would have completely separately organic sprouted up that then became everything that you're seeing here. And then, of course, once what they created became a thing of its own, then you had like a merging of the worlds, which has been really fun and rewarding. Thank you, Matt's mom forever. My Chemical 74. Michael Moore received loads of calls and emails demanding the release of the Three Squirrels. I bet he did. And thank you to all of you out there in the SP Nation who made those phone calls and sent those emails, because I'd like to believe that had something to do with it. Gizmo, have them call to see how late the lot is open. Yep, I'm sure they're on it. It sounds like Jacob Harkey is all over it. Tommy Anderson, thank you for your coverage. Well, thank you, Tommy, for the super chat and for your support. Oh, Aaron, you're not subscribed to Jacob. Oh, busted. Okay, let me get Jacob's channel on screen here. Subscribe. There you go. Set a good example. You guys have eagle eyes. Amazing. All right. Moon Fairy, arrests seem to be about the optics. Be safe this weekend. David Miscavige and Osa must need all the visuals as possible to explain the current disruptions at the orgs. That's a really good point. I think you are correct there. Okay. Hey, what's going on with your case with the LAPD? I believe you were talking about the lawsuit, and I'll be making an announcement about that just as soon as I can. Thank you for the question. Jolie, I'm in Detroit. Is that an org or a mission? That is an org. All orgs are going to have reasonably sized buildings. Missions are tiny little holes in the wall in like a strip mall, or it's in like someone's house. Missions are not big. Orgs are big. Thank you for that. Daisy Girl, make sure he sweeps the van for bugs. Just saying. Yeah, absolutely. Abigail, good to see you. I wonder if the hearing for Danny and LA Cam on March 13th is a tactic to get the protesters away from the LRH birthday event. I'm sure they're having. Very interesting question now, observation. The LRH birthday event is very rarely actually held on March 13th. March 13th is the day of L. Ron Hubbard's birthday, but I'm betting you March 13th is a weekday, and the events are always held on the weekend. So that's not, for that reason, that tactic would not work. But interesting thought. Lisa Marchbanks, good to see you, Lisa. This is all theater on the LAPD's part. They're wasting people's time and trying to scare them. Stay strong, Squirrel Squad. Yeah, I truly do believe it is part of an overall fear and intimidation campaign to try to get the protesters to stop. And they just don't realize, one, it's only fueling it. It's only giving everyone more content. And that's the nature of the beast. So it's definitely backfiring on them. Nico Deweese, is the one in Ventura a mission? Ooh, Nico, I'm going to get this wrong. I risk it. I believe there is a mission in Ventura. There may be also an org in Ventura. See, that's where I'm risking getting it wrong. I am familiar with a Ventura mission. But also there's so many orgs in the LA area. I don't actually know where Ventura is. So I can't give you like a definitive answer, because if you might be in Ventura, there might be an org and a mission. So you're going to have to double check that. DDA Ohio. What can you tell me about the Columbus, Ohio org? I can tell you that it's staffed by Sea Org members. And it's a pretty good sized org because it's staffed by so many Sea Org members. And why is it still staffed by Sea Org members? Because they cannot recruit enough public Scientologists to join staff to replace the Sea Org members who were sent there on an emergency basis many years ago to take over the org. But that's a real org, and protesting out there would be amazing. So please definitely do that. Lethenda, all the arrests made so David Miscavige can brag about the numbers at the LRH birthday event. Yeah, exactly. Kazri of Hekati.com. Good to see you, Kazri. I'll stream tomorrow about action at Portland org, 5:30 Saturday. Excellent. Yeah, you guys can find, subscribe to Kazri's YouTube channel. She's been doing a lot of live streaming in Portland, and you can tune in Saturday at 5:30 to see what's going on there. That's right. That's going to be their big, well, I think someone said earlier in the stream that it was like the IIS event, plus it's a welcome back event. It's a recruitment event. It's a everything but the kitchen sink event. Lily Castle, the police have internal affairs that is supposed to investigate bad acts. Who is supposedly the checks and balances for the DA? Good question. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe someone in the comments section can answer that question. That's a good one. Matrix Tech Solutions, always good to see you. Thank you so much. Heather, in the library, I have about 36 subscribers so far. Trying to be able to go live at the Phoenix org. What should I know about it? Okay, well, Heather in the library, if that's the name of your YouTube channel, then guys, maybe get her a little bit more subscribers so she can do some live streaming. And the Phoenix org is just a normal org, just a normal class 5 org. There's really no such thing as a big org. Oh, when I said missions are small, orgs are big, I was just referring to the size of the building. But Phoenix has never been a particularly successful, thriving Scientology organization. So don't be surprised if it's just really empty, really slow, not a lot of staff members, even, fewer public. But yeah, I look forward to seeing your streams out there. Thank you so much, Heather. And Lavender Bridges says, when a public joins staff, is it paid? Well, technically it's paid, but it's paid on using what's called a unit pay system, meaning you're technically considered a religious volunteer, and a certain percentage of the net gross income for the week goes into the staff pay sum. And all the staff members are paid on a unit system. So based on the number of years on staff and the seniority of their position and the amount of training that they've had for their position, they're allocated a certain amount of units for pay. And so you take the staff allocation sum divided by the total number of staff units, and that gives you a unit value. Another, your pay as a staff member, your pay is usually $5 to $50 a week. You generally get paid even less than Sea Org members, except staff members have to support themselves. They have to pay rent. They have to do laundry, clothes, food, car. And that's why most staff members have moonlight jobs. You cannot support yourself working as a staff member at a Scientology org. It is harder to be a Scientology staff member than it is to be in the Sea Org in most cases. You work more hours for Scientology as a Sea Org member, but it's harder to be a staff member because you're juggling real world responsibilities and stresses and financial concerns. And it's stressful as hell. It really is. Okay, Kay says, preparing to hit up downtown Sacramento building on the 24th. Any information inside about this location? Excellent. Sacramento is actually historically a very successful organization. They raised tons of money. They had long-term veteran staff members there who've been around forever. So that's an excellent location to protest. I don't know what the new location, I don't know. This is one of those orgs that already has their new building. I don't know if their new building is still in one of these heavy foot traffic areas or if it's out in one of these industrial parks where nobody would ever walk by it. So I'll be interested to see what their building looks like and where it's located. But generally speaking, that is one of the more successful organizations in the United States. B, thank you very much. Keela McDonald, good to see you, Keela. Just wanted to say hi and be careful this weekend. And hello, Tori Magoo. Good to see you. Is Tori in the chat, or are you just saying hi to Tori in general? Either way, thank you very much, Keela. Okay, Hardmet. Oh, Hardmet. I remember Hardmet. Hardmet went to Hardmet, LA, went to the org in Berlin, Germany, did a short video there. If you're from Europe, chances are Scientology is in your country too. Yeah, Scientology has an org in almost every European country. So, Hardmet, send me a link to your video. Email it to me, growingupinscientology@gmail.com. I'm dying to see what the Berlin org looks like. But in Germany, they've got Stuttgart, they've got Munich, they've got Berlin, and they've got Dusseldorf. Those are the 4 orgs that I know of. I might be forgetting some, but those are the 4 orgs in Germany that I know of. They've got a bunch in Italy. They've got France. There's Madrid in Spain. There's like 3 or 4 orgs in Sweden. There's one in Switzerland. There's one in Vienna in Austria. There's one in Budapest in Hungary. Yeah, Europe's got a bunch of orgs. So anyway, looking forward to seeing your link. Nikki Hit Pass. Please email DA George Gascon about Danny and Cam's false arrest charges and what the LAPD did. And do they have a Chicago org? They do have a Chicago org, and they're opening up their brand new building in the next week or 2, it looks like, or at least they're supposed to. They may not pull it off. So yes, there's an org. There's a brand new building waiting to be occupied. And in the meantime, they're off in one of these crap locations out in the middle of nowhere in like a strip mall or something like that. So yeah, the Chicago org has been there for a long time, and it's never been a particularly successful org. Dave Bowen says, sorry, I'm a crime fiction author. If I was writing this, the cops would have been alerted by Scientology to wait for the plant to strike, then roll in and round up the protesters. Yes. Let's just say I'm very interested to find out what Josiah was arrested for. Lori Tampa, looking to protest in Ybor. Any information is appreciated. Pretty much the same information I've given on this stream for the other orgs. There's nothing particularly special about the Ybor org. I was just there a couple weeks ago. It's huge. It's a huge, beautiful building. It's at the time that building was constructed, it was the largest cigar factory in the United States. But otherwise, just your average struggling organization, not a lot of staff, not a lot of public. It's fun protesting around there because there's chickens and roosters running wild on the sidewalks down there in Ybor, and that makes for some fun. And also, there's a lot of people walking around down there. So I think you'll have some fun. I'm looking forward to that, Lori. Send me a link when you have something uploaded or streamed. Okay, let's see. Debbie Baker said, William was so upset last night because no one told him that you were coming to town. Streets kept saying, why didn't anyone tell me about Aaron? You know, it's kind of been up in the air as to whether I was going to go. The trip is not primarily my trip. This trip is primarily Nora's and Liz and Alicia's trip, and Liz Ferris. And Liz Gale was going back down as a show of solidarity, and I'm going out there as a show of solidarity. But there was a very real chance that I wasn't going to go. First of all, I was having some health issues, if you hadn't heard. But yeah, no, I'll call William. He and I have been in touch. For me, it wasn't even a thing. Okay, let's see. Amy, see you later, said, can you take a trip to Elron's ranch in San Luis Obispo? It's the place where he died and is still owned by Scientology. Visit Danny's new digs while there. Not a bad idea. Spirited Dragonfly, Heather now has 74 subscribers. Well, that is awesome. Thank you guys for helping her out with that. All right, guys, let's wrap it up there for now. I might do another video this evening. I might not, but we'll see, guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.